All right, this topic is a huge topic that I see all across social media, Facebook, and any of the Facebook groups. You'll see a lot of this, and it's one thing that a lot of content on YouTube, a lot of the naturopaths, doctors, people, gurus, all these people are rolling with they're telling everybody you need to fix your gut. Fix your gut. So everybody's trying to fix their gut. And what I'm saying, from my clarity that I got from my journey, stop trying to fix your gut. It's pointless. You'll never do it. It'll never happen. The more you try to fix something, the more it persists. What you resist persists. The more you do it, the more you're gonna have a problem trying to fix it, because it's backwards. You don't start here, right? But people always say it's the second brain. This is the brain. This is the brain. Bullshit. This is your brain. It's your brain. Nothing else. This is your brain. This is your gut. You have a lot of nerves that go down here, right? So whatever is affecting here affects here. And this, it affects your biome. So your biome's out of whack. And this, when it's not working properly, it's not absorbing the nutrients that you need to keep you healthy. And this, right? All of these too, not just this, is affected by this. So things aren't working together, right? Right? So your kidneys and your liver isn't detoxifying, and your heart, it's got pain. It's not doing this the way it's supposed. Like, everything isn't working as one together. Everything is just keeping you alive in survival state. You're in fight or flight. When you're staying in a fight or flight, when you're in a state of fight or flight, there's only one job that your brain has, is to keep you alive. All the other things are on pause, right? They're still doing them, but not efficiently, right? You're still, you're still detoxified, but not efficiently. You're kind of healing, but it's taking longer. So everything's taking. You're getting fatigued. You're getting 70 symptoms, right? Like, that's what I had. I had all these 70 symptoms because the brain's perceiving danger. It needs to get your attention. Your bucket's overflowing, right? You got all these loads that you're carrying on from years of bad toxic relationships, bad work environment. You had somebody passed away. You had childhood trauma. You had too many vaccines, or you had an accident, or your in-laws trigger you, or whatever it is, whatever that affected you here in your body together brings on loads that you carry with you. And if you don't release them and empty your bucket, that affects everything, all the systems in your body and your gut, right? Your biome isn't at the right balance that it needs to be. So what do people do? They figure, well, I got these lab tests and they say that my biome is out of whack. And they fall for these leaky gut rabbit holes. And I have holes in my gut, and I have to patch them up with this supplement and this supplement and this supplement. And you got a whole rack of supplements worth over $500. And they're very expensive. And some of these supplements you have to special order, and they ran out. Oh my god, I gotta buy a case. Oh my god, I gotta get this DAO supplement, and I gotta buy this special kidney that you can only get in Alberta, and they only have it shipping on every Tuesday at 2:00, but not at 2:01. They stop so you have to order it. So I buy a case, and then you can get them for me. I'll give you, right? They have all these supplements that are hard to get, and they're super expensive. And when you go to some of these Facebook groups, most of them, they're there to sell you something. Naturopaths, they're there to sell you something. It's like, yeah, well, we'll do a candida die-off, and then there's about $500 worth of supplements that you get. And then, it's not going to do anything. It's going to make things worse. So, and it's going to, it's not going to help your gut. But we're going to show you, we're going to convince you that it is, and this is what you think like you're doing something. And, you go on these Facebook groups, and they're like, well, you got to kill the biofilm. So you gotta get really aggressive and kill that first, and then when we kill that, there's you got this weird mutation in your genes that you have to also regulate by using this supplement and this diet and this avoidance behavior, and you have to also you have a lot of metals, right? You have a lot of metals in your brain, and it passes through your blood-brain barrier. Blood-brain barrier, bullshit barrier, right? All these metals that you gotta chelate, or whatever that word is. And you got to take these supplements, these special supplements that bring out the metals. But sometimes when you bring out the metals, you'll feel worse. So that's normal for you to feel worse. Ignore that. It's good for you to feel, and then people are getting worse and worse, and it's not helping. So the whole world of supplements, you don't need them. It's bullshit. You don't need them. They make you worse. 9 times out of 9, they make you worse. And they stress your body more because it's more shit that it's got to do. It's like, oh, here he goes again with the charcoal. Okay, here we go. Well, you think so? It might make you feel a little better, but it's just becoming a coping mechanism. All right, a coping mechanism that, what, you're going to have to buy a case of charcoal for the rest of your life? And keep, no, it's just for now until we fix the SIBO. We got to bomb it. We got to get aggressive with the biofilm. And it's like 10 different things you have to do. You got to do them all in order, right? We got to bomb it with the antibiotics. We got to bomb it and get rid of the biofilm. And then after that, we got to bomb it with some probiotics. Just make sure it's 50 million trillion. Make sure it's a lot of bacteria. We got to bomb the shit out of that. And yeah, you're going to feel worse. But that's normal because then you got to go on the elemental diet, right? You got to put this, you got to take this elemental diet, and it's like stabbing pains. The stabbing pains is that it's healing. No, that's good. And if you feel like you're going to die every day, that's good. That means it's working. Brutal. Like, I can't believe that I was one of these people that was going to do all this. Bomb my gut, right? And I believed, well, we have holes in our gut. That's why it's called leaky gut. I remember once talking to, because I wanted to get CBD oil. Because, I went for the CBD oil. The CBD oil is good because it brings your limbic system down. That's CBD. Hey, that's a good idea. CBD oil. That'll be good. So, I remember I was talking to this dispensary doctor. I'm like, well, I have leaky gut, and I gotta fill those holes and repair my gut before these symptoms will go away. So he's like, okay, so leaky, what do you mean leaky gut? I'm like, there's holes that are in your gut, right? Over time, there's holes, and then particles run through these holes, and then your body, your immune system gets overactive, right? Your immune system gets overactive, and it passes through the blood-brain barrier, goes through. Okay. Well, this CBD should help that. Okay, great. That's great. That's what yeah, thank you. Right? You fall for so much bullshit on the internet, so much misinformation, so much brainwashing. There's actually, I think, these supplement companies brainwash. People think, well, I'm not going to go to my doctor because he's just going to give me pharmaceuticals. And, I know what they're doing. So I've woken up and I'm going to a natural herbalist, or I'm going to go to my naturopath because they look for the cure. They go to the root. That's what they do, right? And they have supplements to support my healing journey. So you think, you're running away from the doctors because like, they are just pushing the drugs. I'm going holistic. I'm going to a herbalist. I'm going to a naturopath because my naturopath doctor, he knows Chinese medicine. So Chinese, they have a history. It's a Chinese type of medicine. It's they use herbs and spices, and it dates back thousands of years. So it really works, right? What I think sometimes is that maybe these pharmaceutical companies are like, they want to go to the other side with naturopaths and with all these supplements. So I think we should get a piece of that pie. So let's push that. Let's push, the instead of Western medicine, you go holistic. You go, to a naturopath. You go to a herbalist, and we'll supply the supplements. Why not? We'll get a bigger piece of the pie, and then people will think that they're doing, they're trying a different method when it's just the same shit, just a different face, right? It's marketing. It's, you come here, I'll help you fix your gut issues, but we got to do all these lab tests. We got to bomb your gut, and we have the supplies. We have all the supplements, and that's how they make their money. And at the end of the day, you're not feeling any better. You feel worse, right? The Candida protocol, where they kill everything. The healing your gut, where they bomb your gut. It's horrible, and there's so much shit information out there, and people are are being sucked in with all these rabbit holes. When you can just, well, number one, save money, not buy all this garbage. Save yourself for all the pain that you're going through, because I've tried some of this stuff and it made me feel horrible. And sometimes with people with these Facebook groups, what they do is they put your fear into making you think that if you don't follow the process properly, then you won't recover. And then you'll get some people out of maybe 1 million, you get like 5, like, I recovered. Yeah, I recovered from SIBO and gut issues. Yeah, I can eat everything I want, no problem. And you have to follow these strict rules. And you have to bomb, kill, bomb, poison, kill yourself, bomb, more poison, more supplements. That costs a lot of money, time, suffering. And then that's when we get rid of that, when you suffer and you almost, you put your body through major stress, then you recover. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, you're making things 10 times worse. How does that make any sense, that making your body go through a stress response and bombing it with things that will make things better? Does that make any sense to you? It didn't make any sense to me, and I'm sure a lot of people are going, this doesn't make sense, but I'm gonna keep doing this. I am lucky that I didn't do the elemental diet or bomb my gut with all these supplements. I did do some supplements, but not all of them. And I'm lucky I was shown the way. I think consciousness was like, no, Helmut. Here, we're going to give you a download. Here, we're going to give you the way. We're going to give you the information, and you're going to do it right without doing it these other ways that are horrible. I threw out all my supplements. I was like, fuck this shit. I'm throwing everything out. And it was, for that 1 minute, I did not feel like, oh, look at all the money I'm throwing away. Because it was like $500 worth. And some of these supplements were hard to get. And I was like, there was once upon a time where I felt lucky that I got this supplement, because I had to go through craziness to get them. Just like, oh man, I got so many weird supplements, like a special turpentine that was shipped to me from this place that they were actually took pine tree needles and they extracted the oil, and it produced this fine bottle of this special type of turpentine that helped kill candida. But it just made things worse. It was all horse shit, and I could have killed myself. A lot of these things you could literally die. I took supplements that, like copper. Oh man, that was bad. Iron. I was diving into all these stupid things that I got from these Facebook groups and YouTube that I'm sure I almost died a few times. Stupid shit. But I got lucky. I was given the information. I was given the clarity to follow this path and just do it. The clarity will come later. You'll figure it out later. You'll understand why. And I just stuck with it. Right? I had faith, and that also helps. Right? Faith keeps you there. It keeps you walking on that board, even though you don't see the board. All you see is cliffs, just like Indiana Jones. You see this cliff. You're like, hello. And you want me to walk over this? I'm going to fall. That's where faith comes in, right? You walk straight and you keep on the path. You look straight and you keep on the path no matter what. And then you start to feel better. You start to go away. And your gut starts to heal, right? And then you start to be able to eat foods again. I only had 2 safe foods. That was it. If I went out of those 2 safe foods, I was in a flare for 3 weeks. Bloody diarrhea or crazy constipation or other symptoms. Right? But I had to stick to the path. I had to do exposure. I had to be okay with feeling like shit, because you have setbacks, right? You usually feel worse before you feel better. And it was quite the roller coaster, because the more you heal physically, the more your symptoms mentally skyrocket. Anxiety, PTSD, and looping OCD thoughts, and then intrusive thoughts, and the triggers were going crazy. So that again affects my gut, right? And then I'd have problems again with my gut. So I started healing, and then I had to heal another level, a different area. It was my brain, right? Recalibrating it, changing the program. And that means you have to go through all the layers of the onion, right? Bring my baseline down, turn off alarms, and then eventually I was able to eat everything. But it was hard. I had to train myself on all the foods that were giving me symptoms. I had to give myself symptoms. I had to invite the symptoms. I had to set a stress response, right? If you go down to the bottom, I'll leave a link to the 5 keys of recovery. Follow those videos. Stick to the path. If it takes you a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, you will recover. You will get your gut back, right? You'll get your brain back, which brings the gut back. So, yeah, just follow along. Stick to it. You bring your baseline down because you're in a state of fight or flight. When you're in a state of fight or flight, it affects digestion because the brain and the gut are linked like this, right? They're one. And when you bring this to a calm rest and digest mode with all the alarms, you turn off alarms, this works beautifully. It knows what to do. We don't have to micromanage our body so much. And that's what we're doing with if you see all these programs on Facebook, they're trying to fix the biome. They're trying to fix all the mechanical things of your body. And people, even scientists, will never understand the biome for another thousands of years, right? They'll never understand really how the brain works and how everything's linked. The body and your brain were set to serve you, right? And if whatever you want, it'll give you. So ask yourself, what do you want? I want to be recovered. I want to feel good. All right, it'll do that for you. Follow my 5 keys of recovery. It'll do that for you. You don't have to worry about, will my biome get back to normal? It will eventually balance itself out. When you regulate this regulates by itself. Your gut, your brain knows how to replenish your gut. It knows what to do. It knows how to create neural pathways. Your brain knows how to do that too. Get out of your way, because you're in the way. Get out of the way. Just focus on supporting your mind and your body, and it knows what to do. It knows how to heal, and it will heal. And you won't have to do lab tests. You won't have to take supplements anymore. You don't have to do avoidance behaviors or avoid certain foods, right? Like this book right here, I'll show you. This book was the book of all books when it came to people with all these ulcerative colitis, diverticulitis, gut issues. This was the book that people would buy and change their lives, right? See, I was, okay, so I got to make this, and then I got to make kefir, and then I got to avoid that food, and I can't eat this food, okay, then and I'll be able to live normal, right? This is exhausting. This is a book of avoidance behaviors. This is a book of reaffirming your brain of the danger alarms that it's set, right? This book keeps alarms on, right? Things like that keep your alarms on and keep you sick. Well, if you need to have a diet to be cured, then you're not cured. Then you still have a problem. If you get off a diet, any diet, whatever you name the diet, if you stop that diet and symptoms return, that means you haven't fixed the problem. You haven't went to the root. You haven't recalibrated your brain. You haven't brought your baseline down. You haven't turned off alarms. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. And that's it. But once you do that, you can eat everything you want and you can throw this in the garbage. I'm keeping it just so I can show people what people I had to go to live a normal life. Avoidance behavior books, right? Well, manage your symptoms. Manage your illness, your disease, right? Well, we don't know what's going on. We think it's a bacterial problem, and what we're gonna do, like with me, I was right along with it. I was like, oh yeah, so what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do about this? What is it? Is it like a bacterial problem? Like is it what's going on with my gut? And they were talking about doing fecal transplants. That means that they take shit from a healthy person who doesn't have colitis or whatever, gut issues, and they take it, they test it, they screen it, make sure it's right, and then they put you under, and then they put the shit in your colon, and you kind of simmer in it, not shit, somebody else's shit's inside of you, right? Because the biome of your biome goes into your shit. There's bacteria in there, so other people's healthy biome goes into that shit and it goes inside you. So now you're repopulating your biome, right, with somebody else's biome. But that can be very dangerous because you could set off a stress response and make things even worse. So all they're doing is just doing a band-aid solution, right? You might feel good and be fine for maybe a couple of years, whatever. But if you're in a state of fight or flight, you're going to kill that bacteria just as well as you kill the other bacteria, and you're going to have gut issues just as well as you did the last time. When you're in a state of fight or flight, you're going to get gut issues. And it's not the bacteria is irrelevant. It's irrelevant because once you reprogram the brain, your gut knows how to replenish the biome. It knows how to do it from the environment, the foods that you eat. It knows how to build it again to a healthy amount that you need, that serves you, right? And every healthy biome is different from everybody. It depends where you're from. A different environment. From Africa, you're from New Zealand, you're from Canada. Everyone's biome is different, and it serves you from wherever you live. Just because somebody in Africa has this crazy biome compared to somebody in Norway doesn't mean that you're supposed to have the same biome, right? It's supposed to serve you for who you are at that place, right? So take away the labs, take away all that shit, right? Take away the coping mechanisms, and just stick to the mind-body cure, because that is the cure. That is the root of the problems that you're having with your gut. Nothing else, right? Once you recalibrate this, bring your baseline down, turn off alarms, everything regulates back to normal. And you can eat anything and everything, just like I was able to. Yes, the process, it's hard, it sucks, but as long as you stick to it, you will recover. You will have no choice but to recover. I remember I wanted to do the fecal transplants. I asked my specialist, my ulcerative colitis guy, my doctor. I'm like, so are you doing, can I get on board on this fecal transplant thing? Because they were doing, they're testing it, right? And he's like, oh, that's already done. If we do another one, we'll get, if you're going to have to do this whole application thing, and we'll get you on board. I'm like, well, that's not fair. Like, I don't want to be on these drugs. Get me on this fecal transplant shit. And then I was like, well, I don't need him. I'll find somebody who's healthy. And then I went on these Facebook groups, fecal transplant groups, where they're like, hey, you don't have to go with a specialist. You can do your own. If you know somebody in your family who's healthy and doesn't have colitis, you can take their stool and insert it in you. And there was this whole ordeal of methods of how to do it. And I almost did it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this for sure. Thank goodness that I didn't. It could have turned into a shit show, literally, into a shit show. I think, that was a time where I was going to do that. And I think I had my perfect storm happen right then and there. Everything, like when you look back, everything happens at the right time. Things are, the divine, everything, the way things work, when you look back, is always perfect. Perfect. And my journey's been, ups and downs, a roller coaster, but now that I think about it, it's all been a perfect journey. And I had to learn things a certain way to learn them. I had to deal with obstacles, right? I had to deal with an obstacle to walk around to the proper path. Instead of going this way, this was in the way. So I would stay on the right path. So all you got to do is do my 5 keys of recovery and stick to it. And you will find your own journey. And you will pivot and change. And you will also become your own guide. After you know the methods and you've learned the methods, you take your own healing with you. You're the one that's in charge of it. You won't start to jump to different modalities and go down all these rabbit holes anymore, because you got the answers. You know what's going on now. 100%. The pudding is the proof. Proof is in the pudding, and that's all that matters. The fix is all the same for everything across the board, and you will get there. The brain has no choice but to change if you stick to the path. All right, so I'm sure I'm going to be doing more fixing the gut videos because it's such a huge topic. If you have any questions, go ahead, ask them. And I'll make another video about it, or I'll answer the questions in the comments. Make sure to watch all my videos, like, share, and subscribe. Have a good day.